Development Bank of Nigeria pushes for higher funding for MSMEs. Nigeria targets $6.82 billion global ginger market. Oil slides as China renewed China COVID-19 curbs a temper fuel demand outlook. Japanese stocks lead losses in Asia-Pacific markets Tuesday, while after Wall Street slipped overnight. This is Business Express on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, and we're reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital. I am Leah Kating Babatunde. Well, we start by informing you that the Development Bank of Nigeria (DBN) has pledged to continue to work towards building the capacity of micro, small and medium-scale enterprises and SMEs, eliminating the financing constraints faced by the sector and transforming them into instruments of positive and sustained change. Managing Director, Development Bank of Nigeria, Tony Okpanachi, who stated this in Kano, noted that it is in line with its mandate of providing access to finance to small businesses in Nigeria, while emphasizing the importance of the MSMEs to the socio-economic development of the region and the country. Okpanachi noted that it has become imperative to pool resources together and channel collaborative efforts towards building the capacity of the MSMEs as a way to revitalize their operations to address the challenge of access to finance. These, he said, will guarantee growth and boost the economic potentials of the critical subsector. The African Development Bank, AFDB, wants Africa to fully unlock the existing potential of the agricultural sector through a structural transformation to become a major food supplier to meet food needs in the world. President of the bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, while reacting to the impact of the Russia-Ukraine conflict in terms of food shortage on Africa, sees the crisis as an opportunity for Africa's transformation. Justin Bemwe reports.
The Ukraine-Russia war may seem afar off geographically from Africa, but in the actual sense, it has a direct impact on the African continent, as Africa depends largely on wheat and corn imports from the two warring countries. Reports have it that 41% of wheat supplied to Africa comes from Ukraine and Russia, just as 31% of corn supplied to Africa also comes from Ukraine. Relative reports imply that this year there would be no more 30 million metric tons of both wheat and corn coming from the warring countries, which analysts say could lead to a potential food crisis. Another implication from the report is that Africa will not be getting 2 million metric tons of fertilizer from these warring countries, which will in turn affect productivity on existing cultivated land in Africa. Opinions from experts suggest that these two factors may pose a threat to looming food crisis to Africa. So what has been Africa's response?
We launched a $1.5 billion African emergency food production plan to help Africa to produce and compensate for what is not going to be getting from those countries. Now, these will allow Africa to produce 38 million metric tons of food.
The African Development Bank president believes that Africa does not need bows in hands to beg for food. Rather, they need seeds in the ground to produce food for itself, citing that in the Russia-Ukraine crisis lies an opportunity for Africa.
Africa has today 65%, David, of all the uncultivated arable land left to feed 9 billion people in the world by 2050.
He suggests what Africa does with agriculture will determine the future of food in the world.
The tanning industries in Nigeria, alongside the middlemen, have complained of low supply and availability of hides and skin amid high demands. In this report, Musa Aliu takes a look at the situation in some cities in northern parts of the country.
The business of buying and selling of hides and skin during Salah celebration was in its lowest ebb this year. This is attributed to the cost of the sacrificial animals, which goes beyond the budget of most families. This is one of the skins collection centers in Minna, the Niger State capital. The operators are one of the major suppliers to one of the biggest tanning industries in Kano State. They told me last year they supplied more than 10,000 pieces from one location, but this year they are not expecting 3,000.
And the rams also are a little bit cost than before. And also the skin also, the price of skin is higher than last year. But upon all that, there is not much skin all over the country.
The story is the same here in Boso local government area of the state. The middlemen did not only complain about low supply, but also worried over the cost of the skins. We may run at loss because what we are expecting is not what we are getting, he says. Similar incidents were reported from Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, and Kano states. However, in a telephone chat with Alhaji Tijani Garo, a major tanning operator in Kano State, he said it is too early to analyze low supply.
As important as leather industry is to our national economy, it has been bedeviled with challenges leading to a declining contribution to the national GDP. Consequently, a steering committee comprising the relevant stakeholders from different ministries, departments, and agencies was set up and developed a strategic implementation plan.
Recently, I had a chat with the chairman committee on leather policy in Abuja. He explained that major steps are being taken by the federal government to revitalize the industry.
We want to ensure that we stop the exportation of anything leather from Nigeria, even for fully finished leather. We want a situation whereby we only export products from leather.
Investigation by NTA revealed that it was discovered that only about 30% of the animal skins turned into leather. 60% are consumed, while the remaining 10% are used as mud.
Well, joining us from Minna to speak on the issues around the hides and skin is the state chairman, Hides and Skin Merchant Association, Abdullahi Namina Sarkin Ture. You're welcome to Business Express.
You are welcome.
Okay, great. How is Minna this morning?
Minna is fine, ma.
Okay, great. I would start by saying Barka da Sallah, and it is just about 3 days after the sacrifice, the feast of sacrifice. How is the business of buying and selling of hides and skin? I want to go back particularly to that report by Musa, where he mentioned that last year about 10,000 at a point, 10,000 were what they were buying, and this year it has dropped by 70% to as low as 3,000. How is that business this year?
Yes, first of all, I wish you the same Barka da Sallah too. And actually, it's due to the insecurity, that is number one. Number two, and the high cost of the rams. That is number two. And also, in the previous years, you see some people used to make sacrifice like politicians, and some big mills that are opportune to do that try to buy some rams and share to the needs, but actually this time nothing like that. So I think it's part of what brings the low skin of this year, because last year is more better than this year, by inshallah.
So when we say the skins are low this year, what does that mean for the market, like the one you run?
Yes, the market is totally changed, because the price of the skin as of last year, this year is higher than last year. The price of the skin is higher than number of the skin also is totally low, as I told you. As of last year, in one of our branch, we have up to about 15,000, 10,000, 12,000. Some of those branches now, we couldn't have more than 3,000, 4,000. That is to show that actually the skin is not much as usual.
So this situation now, how is it going to impact on the tanning industry, which is the tanning sector of that industry? How is it going to impact on it?
No, it will be an impact to the tannery company, because if there is availability of the skin, that is how it will get an impact. But actually now the skin is not much, so it will be an impact. And also the tannery also are complaining about the cost of chemicals for processing. The chemicals that they used to buy at 500 naira before, it costs about 1,900 naira now. So if you check it, you discover that skin can cost up to 800 naira for processing each. And this issue also jam with the low the increase of makes it to become no much skin in the country. So that is also accumulate to make things difficult in the tannery too.
So how much did you get to tan skin last year?
Chemicals. You say?
How much did you get to tan skin last year?
At least 500, 450. But now it's become about 800 naira.
So we're seeing about 30% increase.
Yes, definitely, as a result of that chemical cost.
Okay, so what is the...
And the salt also.
And salt?
Salt, yes. You know, we use salt for preserving it to avoid spoiling. Yes, a bag of salt as of last year, it was 3,000 something, while now it's about 6,500 naira per bag.
Wow. Wow. So what is the arrangement people like you have with those in the tanning industry?
Yes, actually the arrangement, we have to go back and discuss with the tannery, because we have already spent a lot in terms of transporting our people all over the country to go and find and gather skin and bring it back. And all the reports we are getting from them that all over the country the skin is not sufficient. So we have already made an extension, so we have to come into finishing before we export it to any country in the world. And that is why the tannery company are complaining about the cost of the chemicals. And we as a dealers, we are complaining for the high selection of skin from the company. Because when you carry like 10,000, as I told you, when the process of selecting in the tannery company, they might decided to select about 7,500 and drop about 2,500 to me, which I will sell it in a local tannery, which the cost will not up to what I bought it. So definitely that will also cause a lot of loss to me. So and the reason why that they always go for high selection, they consider the amount of that chemical, because even after they finish it, or any insect, it will cause them a lot of shot, because they will discover that most of the skin will be rejected And if it is rejected, they cannot sell it as good as they can't sell it as the price will not be like good ones. They must sell it in a local local manufacturer here in Nigeria that they are using it for sure and whatsoever.
Okay, so what is the market out there like for you?
The market at local tannery or the tannery as we are discussing?
No, your
Which one you
market
are asking?
outside Nigeria. Once you've added the value, once you've done the tanning, what is the market like?
Yes. No, the market is good because our skin in Nigeria is the good ones. I think all over the world is the Nigerian skin the best because it is only our ram skin can take all process of sedimentation, all chemicals that for processing. It has that quality to take. It's not unlike other countries' animals that they can be able to pass through that process. So our market, we don't have problem in our market in the abroad.
Okay, thank you, Amos. Thank you for joining us on Business Express this morning. I have been speaking, of course, from Mina with Abdullahi Namina Serkin Ture. Nice to have you on the program and wish you a wonderful day out there.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Next is our Surviving COVID-19 series as put together by Musa Abubakar.
Surviving COVID-19 series is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Actually, the business is slowed down now. There's no business. As you can see, nobody is patronizing us. We don't know what is actually happening. But we believe God in time to come, things will move. Market now, they're almost the same. Because in COVID-19, nobody patronizes you, just come and go. The same thing is happening now as well. It was so hard for us then, during the COVID-19, right? It was so hard for us. Yes, we use our service. At the end of the day, if you didn't say you have to go to bank and pick your what you have for reserve to take care of your family. So that all the people will know it's through the bank. They will say you must bring collateral before they. If CBN can make it possible for us, we are very grateful. So you didn't know about it? We don't know about it. Yes, if I get the loan, I will take.
Surviving COVID-19 series is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Of course, knowledge is key. Members of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, have decried the over 200% increase in the price of diesel while calling on the federal government to urgently allow them and the independent petroleum products marketing companies to import the product from the Republic of Niger in Chad. They are appealing on the government to immediately open up posts in the axis in order to cushion the effect of the supply gap driven by the highest cost of diesel. The manufacturers, who are heavy users of electricity, have also pleaded on the government to remove VAT on diesel as an instant stimulus for an immediate reduction in price and expedite action in reactivating or privatizing the petroleum products refineries in the country. Director General of MAN, Segun Ajayi Kadiri, in a statement expressed concern over the implications of the sharp increase in the price of the commodity on the manufacturing sector, including the exertion of untold hardship on the sector leading to the closure of many industries, reduction in capacity utilization, the decline in GDP, large-scale unemployment across 76 subsectors, and increase in crime rate, among others. And still with that energy sector, oil prices fell on Tuesday as fresh COVID-19 curbs in China the world's biggest crude importer, and fears of a global economic slowdown weigh on the fuel demand outlook. Brent crude futures for September fell $1.47 to $105.63 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude for August delivery was at $102.50 a barrel, down $1.59. Let's now take a trip to the commodities market. Nigeria ginger production has been on the rise as Global Ginger Market Report 2021 to 2027 exceeded $6.82 billion in 2020, as it is expected that the market will reach $8.46 billion. The key driver of the global ginger market growth, according to Global Ginger Market Report 2021 to 2027, is increasing skin problems. Ginger's powders are used in the cosmetic industry as adding fragrance in soaps and personal care products. Also, the ginger is used as a condiment or flavoring agent in salad dressings, tomato ketchups, and sauces, pickles, or curry dishes. According to Statista, a German-based international business intelligence platform, Nigeria was the main producer of ginger in Africa as of 2020. The country produced over 734,000 metric tons. In the said year, the firm noted that Africa produced slightly over 856,000 metric tons of ginger in total. I would like to inform you that the Nigerian stock market is still in a holiday mode, but elsewhere, Japanese stocks led losses in Asia-Pacific markets on Tuesday after Wall Street slipped overnight. Bosley Abel reports.
Tuesday is quiet on the data front for most global stocks, but investors will look ahead to the upcoming U.S. inflation report and China GDP report later this week. In Asia, the Nikkei 225 in Japan declined 1.77% to close at 26,336.66, while the Topix index fell 1.64% to